All right, let's move along to Square, which is set to report earnings after the bell today, with the stock only up about 13% this year after a monster 2020. It's still outperforming rivals like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, and the board just approved its $29 billion acquisition of Afterpay. Here with more on what to expect now, Lisa Ellis is your partner and senior equity analyst at MoffettNathanson. Lisa, it's great to see you again. What are you going to be listening for?
Probably the top number we're watching for this quarter is the gross profit in the Cash App business. That's Square's digital bank that had a huge run during the pandemic. There's some concern that as we're lapping the second half of this year, stimulus payments are rolling out, that those numbers might be a little bit light. We're looking for just under $600 million in gross profit there. They've had about 40 million monthly active users. We're looking for those numbers to, at a minimum, stay stable sequentially, maybe even uptick a little bit sequentially. But that's definitely the nervousness that's been putting a little bit of pressure on the stock in the recent weeks.
So when you say gross profit, you mean literally just in the Cash App?
That's right. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Square's got some funky accounting with the way the Bitcoin flows through their income statement. So the best kind of top line measure to look at for them is gross profit. That's sort of their net revenue, so to speak. So that's usually the metrics that they certainly focus on and we focus on as well. And that number for the Cash App business is, we're looking for something just under 600 million. But that's the number, of particular focus for investors.
Sure.
This quarter.
I just think it's quite a statement that Cash App is the number one focus. I mean, this product is how old? Maybe a year and a half, couple of years. It can't be much older than that. And it had this huge benefit during the pandemic, right? Because of stimulus payments and all the rest of it.
You're absolutely right. This is a piece of the business. The product has been in there for a few years, but it really surfaced during the pandemic. Gained huge adoption when bank branches were closed. People were trying to figure out how they could collect their stimulus checks, how they could, and it is one of these modern digital banks, very much like a Chime or a SoFi, but with the brand of Square that's, very appealing to consumers. And interestingly, 2/3 of the valuation of Square now is attached to that business because it's had just extraordinary growth and actually also has very high incremental margins. So a lot of the cash flow of Square is coming through the Cash App, and folks are kind of waiting to see, is this a permanent trend where we're going to see consumers steadily shifting to more use of these digital banks and moving away from the traditional brick and mortar banks, or was it sort of a flash in the pan during the pandemic? And these next couple of quarters for Cash App will be a good indicator.